Italy will hold a snap election next month after Prime Minister Mario Draghi suddenly resigned last month, causing a dissolution of the Italian parliament, a collapse in government. Our next guest is one of the founders and current leaders of the Brothers of Italy, and she could become Italy's first female prime minister. She's a former journalist and was the youngest ever minister in the history of the Italian Republic. Joining me right now is the president of Brothers of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. She's also the president of the European Conservative Party. Giorgia, thanks very much for being here. We want to get your take on what happened to the Italian government, and could you become the first woman to run Italy? Tell us your platform.
Oh, good morning, Maria. Thank you very much for this invitation. Well, yes, the polls say that in the next Italian elections, Fratelli d'Italia, which now is the party leading the polls, could win the elections with the center-right coalition. And in our rules, the party which is the first one in the coalition that wins can express the prime minister. So I am the leader of that party following the polls, but then we will see when Italians will vote. And so I could be the first woman leading the Italian government in all our history. And that would be absolutely for me a great honor, as it was for me a great honor to be the first woman leading an European political party, which is the European Conservatives. But you know what? I don't face elections like if, you know, you're participating to a beauty contest. For leading a nation, leading a great nation like Italy in a very difficult moment like that, my God, it's a great honor, but it also brings lots of burden. It's not easy, the situation Italy is facing. We all know that. We have a war in Europe. We have rising inflation. We have the problem with gas, the problem with electricity supplies, and we could also have a new wave of COVID. So it would be a very difficult season, and that is why we are doing an electoral campaign saying Italian the truth about the situation and about what we can do. We are not promising nothing we cannot do.
Well, let me ask you about those issues, because one of the main issues in Italy, and by the way, throughout Europe, is this slow economic growth. The Eurozone second quarter GDP grew just 0.7%. There are recession fears across the continent, Giorgia. What are your plans in terms of getting Italy back on track, and your take on the state of the European economy? Many economists expect that the Eurozone will go into recession deeper than the United States and cause the United States to also worsen.
Oh, well, for Italy, I think the first thing we have to do is to help real economy. We need to help our enterprises, people who wants to work. We need to low taxes about job, and we need to leave people who want to do, let them work without a state which is too present too heavy with them. So I want the state to do some steps behind and let people do what they want to do. That is the first thing we have to do. Less bureaucracy, less taxes, and economic freedom. For freedom is the first word we are using in this electoral campaign. We need people to be free to vote, free to say what they think, free to work, free to open an enterprise, free to do what they want to, respecting rules, but the rules have to be less and clear. About Europe, well, I think that what happened this last years with the pandemic crisis and the international crisis show the weakness of actual Europe. I mean, we had a Europe which spent lots of time building a massive bureaucracy and chasing woke ideology. when instead we needed a defense strategy, we needed energy security, we need the defense of our industries and economy. We had no we have no strategy. Europe had no strategy about, for example, this supply chains. Now our supply chains are too long. We cannot control them, and whatever happens all over the world, we saw it with China, for example, with the Russian crisis. That makes us very weak. So that's a great problem. I think European Union should face.
This is a very important point that you make, particularly energy security. Giorgia, Italy has made some headway, major headway, on severing the ties with Russian gas, cutting its reliance on Moscow imports to just 25%. How important is it for Italy and Europe to cut the dependency on Russian energy as we see Vladimir Putin continuing to create death and destruction? What do you want to do with regard to energy security?
Okay, first of all, Maria, let me say that Fratelli d'Italia was a party which also from the opposition of Draghi's government helped Draghi's government to do whatever Italy had to do to help Ukraine, for we are really engaged with that. I'm sure that the invasion of Ukraine is the tip of the iceberg of a conflict that has as a goal, as first goal, the revision of the world order. So if Ukraine falls, and if the West is, come si dice, downsized, the real winner won't be only the Putin's Russia, it will be also Xi Jinping's China, and in the West, Europeans will be those who will pay the worst consequences. So we are really sure about where Italy has to stay to defend its national interest. And we know also that one of the things, the most important we can do, the most useful, is to cut Russian gas and what we're talking about. The only problem is that we need to talk about the alternatives. It means the alternatives. It is necessary to get rid of our dependence, diversifying our sources, try to unblock the autonomous sources of production that have been blocked in recent years by environmental ideology. And we also believe that the West should think about a compensation fund for the nation that will pay more for the sanctions in this war. And you know, Italy, like Germany, like other European countries, are those who need more help. So I said also Draghi, and that's what I would like to do as a prime minister, if it will happen, is to say West can count on us, but we would like to count on West too.
And I know you've been a friend to the United States, having traveled here many times, met with leadership. You were even at CPAC last year. CPAC is ongoing right now. It is an important race and an important decision. Giorgia Meloni, we will be watching it. Thanks very much for walking us through your campaign and the issues that Italy faces along with the Eurozone. Thank you so much. We'll be watching. Giorgia Meloni joining us today. Okay, we will see you soon. Thank you so much.